Jeff Reid, CHRO, BOK Financial. Been with the company, it'll be 19 years on June 1st.
Obviously, it's a volatile time in HR when you look at all of the digital cultural transformation that's happening. The need to invest in peers, because you are the CHRO, it stops with you. So where do you go to get answers when you don't have them all?
I was in a different role when I first connected with Connex. So in my 19 years with BOK, I started off really building talent acquisition, and talent and organizational development was kind of my first order of business for about 9 years. My introduction to Connex happened after I'd moved into what we define as a senior HR business partner role, where we're really supporting the strategic initiatives for a lot of groups. And what I found from a Connex perspective is it wasn't industry specific. So I had an opportunity to listen and to learn and to get to know people that weren't in my traditional network. But I will say the most impactful thing that I found is the think tank mindset, I guess, or the way in which we hold think tanks at Connex allowed me to build better relationships with the people in the session. Because I tended to see them in several sessions. It's a small group. We're talking about different topics where we agree or disagree, or I've got a nugget or they've got a nugget. But over a course of a couple of days, I really got to know them to the point where if I needed to call them or they needed to call me or email each other, we would pick up the phone, we would call each other back. And this is someone that I just met 2 days ago. The value or the opportunity to build the value with each other accelerated. And I haven't seen that with another group, and I'm involved in a lot. I've been in a lot of conferences, and I'm not a go to a keynote, sit in a room with 300, 500, 1,000 people and get a lot out of it. Not that those aren't inspirational speakers that have great information and great topics, because there is information that can be gained and can be taken from that. But the relational side of things, I think, is part of what is Connex secret sauce, in my opinion, is the ability to get to know people that are either dealing with or have even solved some of the challenges that you're facing.
Yeah, that is key, and thank you for that, because that's what we really love to hold as a differentiator. Mm-hmm. Because to your point, how many times, especially with screens today, do you get another invite to another session, and you're not as likely to be as vulnerable with yourself with people you just meet the first time, right? So building that trusted thread of fluid conversations where you can go deep and come in where you feel it's relevant or not, thank you for recognizing that.
Well, and I'd add one thing too, the way in which you introduce and value vendor partnerships. I don't have to walk through Vendor Alley, right, where I get all kinds of trinkets and all those types of things, and maybe they hope that I stop at their science fair table and look at what they have to offer. My time is valuable, their time is valuable, and to be able to know who they are, what they provide, service, product, whether or not I feel that would be something that we have an interest in, or maybe I'm looking for something and there may be something like that that's going, that will be here and we have an opportunity to meet. Now, in my experience over the years that I've done things with Connex, I've never solidified a deal in 30 minutes, right? But we at least have had an opportunity to talk and see whether or not that conversation needs to go to the next level. And, this year, I won't name the vendor on camera here, but, there was one that was introduced that was going to be here where, we had already had a number of conversations before I ever got here. And so my meeting them today was, more of a putting a name with a face than it was anything else. But it was, it was a valuable introduction. I mean, whether or not we ultimately decide to do business together is still unknown. But I was appreciative of the introduction, and that would not have happened, without my involvement at Connex.
Yeah. Well, I think you get back to relationships, right? Mm-hmm. You're a CHRO. There's a lot riding on every decision that you make, right? And it's consensus buy today. A lot goes into it. There's a lot of risk. So if you could maybe talk to how it built up to here, where, yes, at the beginning you talked about how we bring you the partner. We'll have a virtual meeting where you'll get to meet, maybe you'll follow up. And then the culmination of that quite often can be meeting in person.
Sure.
Because you can never replace this, right? What has that been like for you here with Connexion?
Well, I mean, so this year it's a little different, right? Because I'm on the HR side, and Connex also specializes on the healthcare side. However, they're kind of hand in hand. Now, while not every healthcare individual that's represented here provides a benefit or a service that my organization or our employees may benefit from, I still have an opportunity to learn from them, because each of them are dealing with similar things that we're dealing with, maybe, but in just a different way or in a different setting. So the interaction, I think, has been really good. In some cases, I had dialogue ahead of time and had a chance. In other cases, not. As I mentioned to you when we were talking off camera, I reacquainted myself with someone who has been in a Connex session with me back in, 6 or 7 years ago. And it was an opportunity for us to reacquaint ourselves, and both of us are in different roles. We were in different jobs back then, and we're both CHROs now. And so we're having a different type of dialogue, but we were able to build off of the relationship that we already had, and we already had a connection. And to be able to rekindle that here was really good. I feel like the Connex group really tries to get to know the company. So in my case, BOK Financial, we're a financial institution. My conversations with Andrew and other members of the team are what's important to us, what is it that we need. Certainly they throw a lot of things. Hey, have you thought about this? What about this? Have you looked at that? But at no point have I ever felt like something was being pushed on me. It was more of a, is this introduction going to be helpful for you? And if not, what are the things that you're looking for? What are the areas that you're focused on in your 1, 3, 5 year strategic look? And how can we help you with making introductions to vendors or partners that can make it better? So I've been very appreciative of that, over the years, and certainly one of the reasons why I continue to come back.